Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be covering a topic I've seen trending lately. Is not even a topic, but it's an ideology. It's racism. Racism has been trending and being pushed more so than ever, I'd say. Right now you have the that Asian man killing that black teen, and then you have black people boycotting Asian businesses. Then you have Carmelo Anthony case, which is pretty much just became a race issue over. Now, do I think race played a role in that? Yes, race plays a role in everything, because that's the way people view each other, based on race. Thing is, people make it too much about race. Too much about the color of your skin being the dictating factor in the way in which they perceive each other. It is not good. It is insanely bad. The way in which racism has been pushed, most evidentiary in modern times, I'd say, is against Jewish people. Anti-Semitism has been on an all-time high, both if you're on the left or on the right. You gonna see anti-Semitic posts and topics. Do I think there's a lot of rich people that are Jewish? Yes. Are all Jewish people the rich elites? No. Like, it is so brain dead. People get so close to class consciousness, but instead they just became anti-Semitic. Like, what's up with that? Just because like a lot of rich people are Zionists, you think, and Jewish, even though they're not religiously Jewish, they're literally just ethnically Jewish because they're supporters of Zionism. That's why they're ethnically Jewish, and they're rich. It's not the determining factor of being dumb, religiously being Jewish. From that, you gonna become anti-Semitic. You gonna think, oh, the real reason why we're getting fucked over is because the Jewish people are the ones in charge and they're corrupting everything. No, bro. It's the rich elites. The rich elites just happen to be Jewish. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm gonna get more into that. Next thing, I'm gonna bring up racism, especially to the black community. This thing with black fatigue is genuinely slop content. If you make a black fatigue video, you're actually a slop creator. Because what the fuck do you mean black fatigue? Like, you could do that about any race. Just take evidentiary videos of a certain group of people and then you just put them together in a edited format, and then you say, wow, all these people act like this. Like, that is such a fallacy. That is so fallacious argumentation. How are you gonna say that one person in a group doing an action means the whole group is gonna act like that? It's so brain dead. And then you have to think about, when it comes to race, you have to think of the systemic issues on each racial group. So if people, for example, people bring up like the one, I don't know, like 1350 stat, black people make up 13% of the population but commit half the crimes. First of all, it's not true. It's half the arrests. If anything, that's good for the black people because it's better on them and worse on whites, or just cops in general, which mostly white. But the black people also get acquitted the most often from those crimes. Again, on that, those are arrests, not crimes. Another thing, black low-income areas are policed heavily, so obviously they're gonna have more arrests. Put that together, black people are more economically disadvantaged than other racial groups. You're gonna have them commit more crime. The most correlating factor from some group of people committing crime and them not is them being poor. You can see this because predominantly white low-income neighborhoods have similar crime rates to predominantly black low-income neighborhoods. It's just them being low income. It's not the race. It's not the color of their skin. And you could get into this ghetto and, oh, they're ratchet, they're this, they're that. Man, everybody ghetto when you're uneducated and you don't have a good family system, and you're broke and you're on the streets. Like, we talk about black people being ghetto. That's what these black petite contests play talking about. What you know what a redneck is, bro? Do you know what a redneck is? Like, do you know what a redneck is? Like, please stop that. Stop all that bullshit. And to think black people are actually better than the low-income whites. Low-income whites are the most racist, most mega supporting, Trump-loving people are the low-income whites. They're the ones with the Confederate flag, the Confederate war flag, which is not anything of culture. First of all, why would you want your culture being the Confederation, where you're generally fighting for your rights to own a slave? That's what the Confederate flag was. It was the Confederate war flag, meaning that was the flag they put out to fight in the war to keep their slaves. It's nothing but culture. So stop that narrative. Think about all those low-income white neighborhoods. They're the most racist. They're the most racist. They were all the hate crimes, all the skinheads. Do you see black people en masse going out and killing white people? No, you don't. You don't see that shit. But white people do it every day. Who are the people doing shooting up churches, shooting up schools, shooting up all these places? It's all white, straight men going out and being extremists because of their ideologies. But this is not an issue. It's black fatigue. Like, what are you even talking about, bro? It's so brain dead. Doubling down on that, though, why are we dividing as minorities or just as groups of people? You're gonna boycott the Asian community because one Asian man killed a black kid and got acquitted for it? Like, that is despicable. I don't know how that guy's not in jail. He shot him in the back. He should be in jail. Fuck that Asian guy, right? But for you to now just like boycott a whole group of race, like a whole racist group, that is insane. That's just blatant racism. I don't know why that does not slide. That shit does not slide for me, bro. What are you thinking with that? Imagine you did the same thing to white people. Well, you would not buy from any white stores. I'm pretty sure a bunch of more white people do hate crimes against black people, but y'all buy from white people. When it comes to another minority, you're gonna separate. You're gonna separate them in turn for the white people. Like, thing is, I saw that narrative and I see people pushing black business. I feel like that's fine. Support your own community. Asian people do that too. That is a great thing. That's a great thing to support your own community. But to single out another race and say I'm not buying for them is racist. If you were to do that with any other race, like imagine Asian people when there were black people committing hate crimes on Asians, we were to boycott black business. Like, what? That is insane. Why are we being blatantly racist? Why are we excluding and having prejudice based on race? Despicable. I'm not here to stand for any of that. Why do we continue to be divided by race when if you were anything, any smart, if you had any sense in you, you would know that racism is just a distraction. It's just a tool for the proletariat to be more divided. You need to come together. We need to unify. Think about Fred Hampton, the Black Panther Party's best leader. The one that was assassinated by the police department and the CIA and the FBI because he was the one that actually going to make change. That's why they assassinated. That's why they killed him in his sleep. That's why they killed him in his sleep. Do you think he would be standing for this? Okay, let's fight in between our minority groups, in between our disadvantaged communities. They're both in low-income neighborhoods. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about Asian businesses are in low-income neighborhoods. Maybe because they're low-income as well. You know, maybe that's the only place they can afford. Why are we separating our low-income, not even that, just business in general, business owned by the proletariat, by the working class? Why are we separating? Why are we becoming more divided, ever much more than Now more so than ever in recent time, we're becoming more and more divided. Why are we doing that? We know as Fred Hampton would do the same thing, is to unify. That's the most power we can have, is unify. Unify as a mass, as a working class, together. If you were to do that in the West, in America, wherever that might be, you don't even have to be America, but I'm just saying, if you were to unify as the workers, you could actually make real change. And that's what they were scared of. They weren't scared of Fred Hampton because of his beliefs necessarily. They were scared of his organized power and it was a way that he could unify the people. That's why they stopped it. So we should push that, because that's the way you make real change. You don't make real change by dividing and splitting up the communities so that we're in our own bubbles and we can just talk shit about each other and stick to our own. We're never gonna display the mass, the ruling class, and the majorities and the elites. You're never gonna do anything to change the narrative if you disbar each other, if you desegregate yourselves. You need to come together. We need to come together as a community to fight against racism and to make it so that we're not judging and we are not determining our beliefs on somebody based solely on their race in a harmful way. That is what we should be fighting against with racism. In regards to racism, the thing is, the reason why I think racism is being so far pushed is something that is not talked about enough, is that the humor around racism is being normalized more so than ever, so that when people make genuine issues and genuine critiques of other people, they just say it's rage bait, it's a joke, it's this, it's that, when it's a genuinely damaging message that they're pushing. But because it's a joke, because it's rage bait, I shouldn't be mad about it? Huh? Like, are you stupid, bro? Like, bro, is you really dumb like that? Obviously, I'm gonna be mad if it's pushing a hateful and against the main message that I'm trying to support and what I do. In my beliefs, it's a core foundation of my belief is to be anti-racist. Obviously, I'm not gonna support racism, no matter in what form. No matter if it's some crazy cool white supremacist edit. I'm not saying that's tough, bro. That's not tough. That's not gonna slide. And we normalize that shit. We gonna put some Logan Paul face on that. We gonna put some other crazy dubstep music and we're gonna say, oh yeah, that's shit, bro. Let me repost that. No, fuck you. Don't repost that. Repost something that's actually uplifting. Because your humor, it creeps into your ideology. It normalizes being racist. And then you have people like Nick Fuentes and other extremists on the right becoming more and more normalized, so that when people make genuine jokes or come to this critique, come to this realization, come to this stance on being racist, it's normalized to the point that you accept that. You should never accept that. You should always fight against that. Why are we normalizing that? Why are we in the streets talking about Carmelo Anthony and the other guy just making a race war talking about let's kill another black person, let's kill another white person? What are you talking about? Why are you preying on the lives of innocent kids that had a fight? Now, regarding Carmelo Anthony, I don't think he should have got 35 years, but I don't think he should have went free either. He should have went in jail for sure. Not in the same regard. I think he was in some type of sudden act of violence, sudden act of passion, second-degree murder. I know Texas doesn't have that, so maybe like 15, 10, 7 years. I don't know, something like that. But he's definitely did something wrong there, because if there was a white person that did that to a black person, the whole community would be the opposite. Okay. And that's the facts. That's the facts when it comes to that. They made it about race. They made it about race. Okay. Now you could say the white person would got off. Sure. You could say that. You could say that because the system, yes. I do believe that. I do believe that the way in which society views black people dealt and intertwined with that role. But I do think there's other things that mattered more. in that case. And people made it too much about race. Too much race to the point that his own parents just took that popularity around the case and just profited off it. That's what I think really happened. He could have took a plea deal for sure for 7, 15, 10 years. But instead he got 35 because his parents wanted to make money off it. That's what it was. It wasn't really even about race. They just made that because it would be popular. Now, off that tangent about Kapara Lenthy case and the store owner, the Asian store owner killing the black teen. I don't know the exact name, but don't let these sensational ideas and one by one examples push you to become more racist, especially among minorities. And then when it comes to white people, do not normalize racism in your groups. Do not let the N-words lie. Do not let these things lie. Because if you were black and you were really facing that, you could never imagine what type of hate and, disgust you would feel when you hear that word. When you hear that word said to you. Like, when you actually understand the way in which black people were treated, you would never say that. I would never say that. Have I said it before in ignorance as a kid? Yeah. Talking about some NPAS and stuff. But bro, don't be saying that. You should educate yourself. You should not be ignorant in 2026 when it comes to why the N-word is a bad word. It's because you normalize it to the point that you lose its meaning. But you don't know how despicable that word truly is. So, I'm telling you, educate yourselves on how the disadvantaged people were treated in all times of history, and you're going to find compassion because you realize that's not just a word, it's what is behind the word. And that goes for all slurs, that goes for all hateful messaging. Do not divide over race because it is genuinely the most dumbest thing ever. We all bleed the same blood. We are all made in the image of God, and we should not divide, especially if you're a Christian. If I see another Christian come on here and be racist and derogatory and say the N-word and talk about black fatigue when you're claiming yourself to be a Christian, read your Bible, bro. Read your Bible. We are all free under Christ. We are all one in Christ. We all bleed the same blood, my brother, and we bleed, and we're one in God. So love thy neighbor. Do what God commands you. Don't listen to these Nick Fuentes dumbasses on the internet talking about some black fatigue, saying the N-word and all that, claiming to be Christian, because they're not. Do what the Father commanded to and love their brother. Do you think that's loving when you say the N-word? Do you think that's loving when you're hateful and racist and discriminatory based on race? It's not. So I'm at it there. But this is a very pressing issue, and people are just so sensationalized and pushed and radicalized that they stop seeing humanity in a person. That's simply what being anti-racist is seeing humanity in people and prioritizing that over anything else. We are all human, and that's that. Goodbye, y'all. Thanks for the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.